Now to another takeover collapse for Everton, with the Friedkin Group walking away, having had a period of exclusivity to seal a deal. Sky Sports News understands that the collapse of the takeover will have no bearing on the club's transfer activity during the current summer window, and the club is well funded in the short term. Well, for more on this, let's speak to football finance expert Kieran Maguire. Kieran, a very good afternoon to you. I guess the big question, particularly for Everton fans, is why did this takeover collapse?
I think when the Friedkin Group were doing their due diligence with regards to Everton, they found a few things in relation to the loans from 777 Partners, who had been the previous preferred bidder. I don't think that they were entirely happy that they would be able to deal with 777, who themselves had a lot of serious financial issues to try to overcome in the short term. Everton in total have debts of around £700 to £800 million. Yeah, that's a lot to take on. I think 777 were an ongoing issue with regards to that. Friedkin Group were wanting to persuade some of the lenders to perhaps take a discount on what was owed to them. And then there was a final issue with regards to Farhad Mashiri's shares. He was potentially looking for around about £50 million for them. Friedkin Group were willing to offer £1, effectively to take the shares off his hands and take over the debt issues, and they couldn't resolve that particular gap.
OK, you mentioned the loans. The Friedkin Group themselves, they put in around 200 million to the club. I mean, does that complicate matters further?
It complicates matters from the perspective of whoever is next, the next cab on the rank, as far as potential owners are concerned, that it's one more party that they've got to deal with. I think the positive from the Friedkin Group is that they lent more money to Everton than the loans that they repaid. I think that was from MSP. So that's given the club some leeway as far as meeting its financial obligations over the summer. Also, I think we need to say never when it comes to the Friedkin Group, because there was a fairly similar position to when they acquired Roma. They initially became involved in negotiations, then they decided to pull out, and then at a later stage they decided to come back. And this is part of business. It's all part of the chess that takes place between the seller and the buyer, trying to persuade each other to pay more and less. So I wouldn't rule the Friedkin Group out, although clearly now that there are other parties who can potentially step in and take a look at the books in detail.
OK, that's interesting then. I think one of the big questions for fans, for Everton fans, is does this put completion of what looks to be a brilliant new stadium at risk now, Kieran, do you think?
I don't think so. Clearly, there is still money owed to Lang O'Rourke. The stadium does look magnificent. I work in the city of Liverpool, and you see it going past on the train and so on. It's not due to open for another 12 to 14 months, so there's still time for everything to be sorted there. The club has received money from Friedkin Group, so that's got the ability to pay the short-term bills. They've sold one or two players. They've got the season ticket money, and also they've had their first payment for the 24-25 season from the Premier League. So I think the club is reasonably cash strong at present. So that gives it the ability to pay those commitments in respect of the stadium, certainly for the next few months. And ideally by then we'll have a new prospective owner in place who can take over and move things forward from there.
Yeah, as regards to a new owner, do you see, there was a lot of interest before the exclusivity deal. Do you see the previously interested parties, consortiums coming back in, Kieran, or could it be someone new?
It could be a case of both. Everton's a very attractive proposition. It's in the city of Liverpool, which, as we know, is a football mad city. The stadium itself will have the ability to earn money on both match days and non-match days. There's the benefit of being good transport links in terms of both train, but I think also, most importantly, from the perspective of international owners, and I suspect we're going down that particular route. We've got both Manchester Airport and Liverpool Airport, so there are a huge list of positives. Everton fans will fully occupy that stadium as well. They've got good merchandise sales, they've got good commercial links, so there's a lot to attract somebody to Everton Football Club. It's just a case of getting the right price.
Yeah, let's talk about getting the right price a bit more now, but turn our attention to transfers, Kieran, because we said that we understand the funding is in place for the short term. Do you think there's pressure to sell given this uncertainty around the owners? I mean, we know there has been interest in Branthwaite, particularly from Manchester United. He would demand a big fee. Do you think Everton are under pressure to get that money in?
Certainly, there's no pressure at present. Because they've had all of this cash which has come to the club from that variety of sources which are listed earlier, I think they're fine for a few months. Now, if we get to the end of August and there's no sign of progress, then perhaps the club might take a view to just having some form of insurance policy with selling a player. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to go and sell the crown jewels. So will players potentially leave? Yes, but that's the case at every club at every season. I don't think Everton are under any pressure, certainly not for the next 4 to 5 weeks. And then they can sort of reconsider with regards to how much progress has been made with a prospective owner as we get closer and closer to the end of August.